All right, wonderful humans. We've finished talking about your offer and delivering to your clients. Let's talk about how to market said offer and a little bit about content batching. So this is one of my favorite categories to talk about, and I want to talk about how to make marketing easier. This is the biggest thing that I personally have struggled with in my business, and something I hear from all my clients is that marketing is an adventure. It's a learning experience. And I actually worked with a marketing coach. I also learned a lot about marketing and the systems that you're going to be seeing from that online coach accelerator program I mentioned in the first module. But one of those things that you're going to be seeing is that there is a way to make it easier. There is a way to not spend hours and hours and hours of time, and that's what I want to help you create here. So we're going to talk about the protocols that you want to create monthly. So you want to have a content plan in advance so you can plan. And then we're going to talk about how weekly you want to be creating the actual content. And so I'll talk about the difference between batching, and I'll talk about the difference between copywriting and batching. Copywriting is going to be in the next little video that you're going to see. The next thing is you're going to have a protocol, so it's monthly, weekly, and then a protocol for daily, which is going to be very helpful. And then we're going to talk about diversifying your feed and your audience's, in meeting your audience's need. So you're going to attract different types of people. You're going to hear me say hot, warm, and cold leads, and that's what I'll discuss at the very end with diversity. Now, when you are creating a plan, you want to have a plan around how you want to batch your content, and the way I like to do that is monthly. So when I am thinking about the content that I want to create, we're going to talk about the monthly checklist. It's in an additional system within this program. However, every month I try, when I'm being good about it, to content batch. Does this happen all the time? No. But what it does, it makes my life a whole lot easier for the month coming. What that means is you want to be content batching and having just topics and ideas every single month that you're thinking about and creating as you go along. Then you're also going to have the weekly, you're actually going to do the copywriting and actually making the graphics for each post. And then daily, there's a very rote sequence that you can use to help you post. And what I want you to do here on this slide is I just want you to think about what is the minimum amount of time that you can post. When you are posting, people like routine. And that's one of the things that, like, for you guys, when you're in this group, we have set, or when you're in this program, whether you're one-on-one or in the group, you are going to have routines. It's going to be something that makes you feel safe, familiar, and it's going to show you that this program can work with you, and you know what to expect. That we want to set expectations and we don't want to change them. Human beings, as I mentioned at the very beginning, very change averse. We hate change. And so when you are changing up the amount of time that you're posting, it is something that your audience doesn't love. And within some certain social media platforms, then there can even be a thing where you can like get featured less or things like that. Now, I don't say that to scare you or anything like that. I just want you to think about like what would be like for sure what I could do after implementing these systems. For me, I like to do 3 posts a week. So it's nothing too crazy, and I'll talk with you about like how I do that, but I have found it to be effective. However, I've also been blocked on social media for like 2 months this year, and I was still able to make $70K in 8 months. So you're going to be just fine. Now within that, when you are content batching, what does that mean? For every person that you talk to or other business coaches, they might have different meanings for the word batching. I'm going to tell you what I mean by content batching. Content batching for me means that you are having a set time aside to just film and pick a topic for each post. So what I will create with you guys is a marketing calendar. And I know a lot of you guys really wanted this. You're like, wait, there's a way I don't have to post the thing that I'm just thinking of. No, there is a way that you can make it a little bit more organized if you want. And for me, having a topic to think about was really helpful. So what I mentioned when we were talking about the pillars is that I would talk about marketing for a week. And then I would talk, or now my pillars, I talk about marketing for a week. And then I talk about selling for a week. And then I talk about presenting for a week. Each week I have a separate topic, and I think that has been a big player in people referring me because they're like, oh, you need organization? You need some time management help? Go to Megan. You need some help with your finances within your business? Megan has all the spreadsheets. And I've grown that credibility as I've gone on. And I think it is due to, in part, of course, the results I'm getting my clients, but also the way that I market this business. Now, when you are thinking about the type of audience, there are going to be 3 types that we're going to talk about at the end. But there's going to be a cold, warm, and hot. So and I'll give you like a little tidbit into it. Cold is something that why a topic is important to you. Warm is about something that you can give that's valuable. And hot is a testimonial. So for me, if I was saying my weekly topic was burnout, I would be like, hey, I feel whenever I was teaching, I felt like I was going from tornado to potato. I didn't understand how to manage my energy, and I felt like every time when I just got up for the school day, I had so much trouble getting out of bed, and I would hit the snooze alarm a million times. If you've been there, trust me, I get it. I learned that what I was experiencing is called burnout, and then I used coaching to help me solve it. By using coaching and rewiring my nervous system, I was able to actually overcome burnout. I was able to get up on time, and I felt energized by the work that I did. If that's something you're looking for, I would love to work with you too. Or for the coldies, you can be like and follow if this resonates with you, or this is a little bit about me. You don't even have to have something that is work with me. We'll talk about calls to action. You don't have to have something like that every time, but that just gives you an idea of what a cold post would look like. Cold posts are telling your story about why that pillar is important to you. Why did you experience that? And that's why you're going to help someone else. It builds what we call, there are 3 factors that you want to be thinking about in marketing. The know factor, KNOW. So you want to be building the know factor. People get to know you. Think about the cold leads are the people who just find your feed, or they see you on their reels or something like that, and they're like, oh, this sounds good. I don't know this person, so now I know a little bit about them. That's what's going to help you build that first know factor. The second one is that warm leads. So this is giving something of value. And I'll say something like, for a warm lead for burnout, an example could be, do you ever feel like you just can't get out of bed and you've tried all the things, drinking water before bed, putting your alarm across the room, getting plenty of sleep, and you still are struggling? I want to help you do a quick activity called limiting to empowering beliefs. What you want to do is the first thing when you wake up, I want you to notice what you're thinking. Is it something that is, if it's something like, oh my God, I can't, work is going to be awful today. Guess what? Those thoughts are affecting the way that you're showing up. It's going to be a lot harder to get out of bed. So you want to switch it to something that's a little bit more empowering. Okay, I'm ready to go to work. It's not going to be that bad, and I can figure it out. If there's a problem, I'll figure it out when I get there. Something that helps you to move a little bit forward. Limiting to empowering beliefs is something that's been really helpful for me to overcome burnout, and I hope it helps you too. Then you're like, boom, okay? Then the hot leads are the testimonials. And then you're like, here. So for each of those posts, when I'm batching, I just make the video of me saying that. So what I do is I pull up my calendar, and I choose which topics are going to go when, which is important when we start doing presentations. And then you're going to just write a little bit about it. So you're going to make the video, change into like a shirt that you'd be like, okay, I'm looking good. It's like, let me tell you about this, blah, blah, blah. Or you might even do something with like, if you're using something like TikTok or Instagram Reels, there might be a trending audio and you might be like pointing to something, like something silly, but then you want to have a topic. When it says post, underneath it, you want to write something that'll help you remember, like, what the heck was I doing? And so it's like, for me, I'll be like, limiting to empowering beliefs, no alarm clock. Doesn't need to make sense, but it's something that can help. Then, for your weekly, and I have an example here so you can see what it looks like. I also sometimes have my colors there. So I'll be like, what color was I wearing? What style is it? What kind of things is that? And I'll show you guys the most recent thing that I've done. And I'll show you where it came from, so that I used to post 5 times a week and now I just do 3 and it works out great. And I think if we go to the one before that, okay, yep, keep on going, perfect. Okay, so yep, that's content batching. And that means that you are going to be just literally, like, what I do is I will take a minute and I write down all the ideas. So I will stand up and I'll just like put on some fun music and be like jamming. And I'm like, okay, ooh. And what I like to do that's really important is, as I'm going about my day, as I'm going about my week, as I'm coaching people or whatever your service is, I will be writing down ideas all throughout the month. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. I just have this, it looks like a mess, but it's just like all of these different ideas that I have that I'm like, ooh, this would be a good post. Oh, this would be a good post. And I have them all written down. And what I did is at that first Friday of the month, I will take all of those ideas, that mishmash of ideas, and put it into the post ideas. So I was like, put this, and I'll be like, here's an idea, here's an idea. It's like, talk about being a lighthouse. I'm like, wait, what do I mean by that? I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. And then I'll like put that up there. And when you do that, what will happen is then you go, and when you are batching your reels, you'll be like, the lighthouse, I know exactly what I'm going to say for that. Oh, this, I'm going to know exactly what I'm going to say for that. And that's because you're using what's called your reticular activating system. Science time. Like, I should do like a motion. It's like Bill Nye. Like, I'm like, something. But it's like, what you want to do is see what I have. Something. Your reticular activating system is a part of your brain that is working and thinking while you are like even sleeping. So if you tell your brain, hey brain, I would like to do a post about planning your year. And this is something that I would like to write a post about. As you're going throughout your day, you're going to be picking up on little things around the life, and your brain will be like, we're writing a post about this. So this is important. I would like to add something about this. And it'll be really helpful for you. And so what you can do is, if you do like a trending reel, save them first off with your videos. Do not just leave them in the drafts of Instagram, because it used to be every time that you updated the app, it would delete all of your reels. So save them to your camera roll, and then put the outfit. Sometimes I'd be like yellow dress, and then I would be like the audio. If I was using like a trending audio, I would put like the username. It's like silly girl 5, and then I'll be like happy day, like something like that. But it would be like, oh, that's the audio I need to use. Okay, so then if that's what batching is, what do you do every week? Well, the post needs to have graphics, and it also, well, it doesn't need, it has to, I mean, in order to post it on Instagram at least, you have to have a graphic, and you want to be making some of those graphics, and you want to be having the videos. What I do is, like, for the videos where I'm talking in the video, first off, it just helps you get better at presenting. It's like a very helpful thing, and especially because it's a very short video, you have to take something that's a big topic and condense it down. Again, we'll talk more about that with the teaching. But what you want to do is you want to use each post, each time on the week, when you're actually writing the post, what you're going to do is you are going to have the words for the caption and that match the description. Now, I post 3 times a week, 1 topic for cold, 1 topic for warm, and 1 topic for hot. But with each of those, I do and I primarily use Instagram, so you can use whatever works for you, but I do a reel talking about a topic like burnout, and then I'll have a post that is also about the same thing. So if it's like hard to get out of bed, or it's like energy drained, energy saved, both of those things will be something that I will do. Now, when you are writing your posts, something that I have found when I'm recording these videos for Reels is that there's a tool in Google Docs, which is why I love Google Docs so much, called Talk to Type. When you're thinking about, for my testimonials, how do I get all this information to all these people? It's because I literally go into tools, and I'll show you guys how to do this. You go into tools, voice typing, allow on this computer, and I literally just play the video and it transcribes it. Sometimes the transcription, the words are not always correct, but it usually is good. Then you can also prep the reels in the drafts area at that time and get them ready to go. There are people that use other scheduling apps. There's also hiring people. I didn't use that for my first 6 figures, and I still don't use that today, but good if that ever floats your boat. Then daily, because I have ADHD, I needed to have a protocol for posting that was very clear. So I will post the picture, and then I will include the hashtags, pre-written caption, and location. And there might be more things by the time you hear this. Social media is always changing, but that's what I do. And then I will upload the video to Reels, again including the hashtags, heading, trending audio, and then I will post the same video to my stories. So it's like it helps me to have like that remote or that like rote process, and that's why my feed looks like it does. So again, the purpose of marketing is for results. This is the biggest thing that I just like, it's such a myth. It's such a myth because there are so many vanity metrics that go on for so many people where you will be focusing on the wrong thing. When you are focusing on what's called vanity metrics with social media, what I mean by that is the number of followers, the number of likes, the number of comments, doesn't matter. Literally for the first 2 years, and still today, like I am in my 3rd full year of business, my 2nd year full time, and I have, I will post and no one will comment all the time. I'm actually like including in this round, hopefully I'll still have this, all of the posts that I did for each of my launch, and I will show you the number of likes and I will show you the number of comments because I'm now at the multiple 6 figures to 7 figure range. And what I've learned is that I got like 0 comments, like a couple of likes, but like it's like nothing above 10 for my whole launch. And I still made in my first year $120,000. The likes and comments do not matter at all. It's awesome if you're getting them, but it doesn't matter. So what you want to do is we want to focus on what is going to bring in more leads for your company. Now, again, not views or clicks or things like that. We'll talk about that formula now, and we'll talk a little bit about the formula later, or in the next module, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But we're going to talk about how to make your marketing really predictable. The content calendar and batching is primarily about like creating what's called billboard marketing for your business. So last thing that we want to talk about is diversifying your feed. So I mentioned that I would talk about this, and I'm talking about it now. So these are the cold leads. That is making sure that you're growing your audience and developing that know, like, and trust factor. This is primarily for like the know, getting to know you. Then you want to have the warm, which is nurturing your current audience and giving them valuable posts, creating intriguing content, helping warm them up to become a client. That's like the like factor. They want to like you. They want to like what you teach. They want to like what you do. And then the trust factor is the hot. That's where you want to compel them and invite them to take action and purchase. And then of course they will go through the purchasing process. And it's so interesting, guys. Like people will go along this spectrum all the time. Like I've had, for my first round of my mastermind, 3 of the people who joined were on my email list, and then they unsubscribed. So they like literally went from like cold to non-existent, and then they found me again, and then they like were like, I want to get back on your email list. And so it's like, just so you know, it's like, it's going to be a process, and you can include hashtags for the reels and things like that that can fit your business. So that is it. I want to let you know that you guys are doing amazing. Sometimes on the calls, what you can do is you can bring me your content calendar and we can workshop it together. Otherwise, we're moving on to the next module.